Hey guys, this is Huzaifa from my YouTube channel Positive Academy. Today we have a special guest, Tristan Gutner. He will be soon joining us. He is an entrepreneur and his goal is to help all other entrepreneurs all over the world. So I'm just sending an invite to him. Yeah, so I've just sent an invite and he will be soon joining. So that's the thing, and every time I had a goal to make some difference, right, to provide value. So I thought, why not to start a series to invite different kinds of people and entrepreneurs who are helping other people, right, who can just add something to become the greatest person. So one of all other details, I have mentioned all the details regarding him in the description, and soon he will be joining. So that's the thing. I mean, each and every day you need to spend time on yourself, right? Quit limit the use of social media. It doesn't make any difference, right? But to be your greatest version should be your main goal, main motto, right? That's the thing. A lot of successful people, they don't. Rome was not built in a day. They don't do all the great things in a span of time, but continuous efforts, doing each and every day something right towards their goal makes achieve them the great results. So that is the thing, right? And a lot of people, if they are having goal, they are not consistent and they just gave up on their dreams. But I would definitely tell you that do not give up on your dreams, right? So that's the thing. I have also mentioned few books which in the previous video I have mentioned. A lot of books for self-help, how they can help you to become the greatest version. So you can check out my previous videos where I have mentioned all the books, list of book recommendations to become your greatest version in 2019. Reading is the most important habit. Lot of successful people has involved this reading as one of the things, right, in their life. And reading doesn't just makes you other things also. It helps you to get memory, brain power, and etc. So that's the thing. And lifelong learning, you need to keep lifelong learning. Every day you need to upgrade yourself. So that's waiting to join. You need to build your legacy, right? That's the thing. What image or what thing you left behind plays a crucial role, right? There are some technical issues going on, so let me try once more time. Okay, so we have Tristan in our house. Tristan, please welcome. It's been an honor
Hello.
to have you on this my channel, and it's really great to have you. So first of all, to begin with, I would like you to introduce what you do and what are the things you are looking forward.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this call for a couple weeks now. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so I'm a transformation coach, and I work mostly with entrepreneurs. And what I love helping people do is to create quantum leaps in their income and their impact in their business and their lives, how they serve others, and ultimately how they feel inside. And by quantum leap, what I mean is instead of growing sequentially to get from here to here, like one step, two steps, three, and a slower arc, changing state from this state to this state immediately rather than having to go through a long process to get there. So
yeah,
my passion is helping people create massive change very quickly in their business and
yes,
their lives.
yes, yes. Amazing. I am also on journey to inspire people. Only I've started this channel to inspire a lot of people to become their greatest version. So that's the thing. So I would like to get input from you. I mean, how do you progress and what are the things I need to take care?
Happy to share anything I can. Happy to help.
Yeah, so I have also just heard regarding that when you just came in contact with any kind of people, you can predict what is going on and what are the situation. So that also I have learned. So is it true?
If I understand your question correctly, I think what you're asking is when I meet someone, can I tell pretty quickly what's going on for them and what would need to shift for them to get from
Right.
here to there?
Yes, that's the thing.
Um, yeah, most of the time it's not true every time. It is almost always true though. If someone's willing to be vulnerable and really open up and say, "Hey, this is what's going on for me," if I have space to ask a couple of questions, usually pretty quickly I can tell like, okay, this is internally, this is what they need to start shifting, and healing, and creating new patterns around to create that new result.
Okay, so you help us to manifest anything, right? We can manifest anything. What you mean to
True.
say? Another
Yeah.
question from my, what is actually the law of attraction? How one can attract anything in their life? Can you please brief regarding that?
Yeah. I sometimes I think the
Hello.
word attraction is challenging sometimes because it's like this idea that you have to bring something to you that you don't already have. So I think about it just in a maybe a slightly different way, which is I like thinking about it as a law of vibration more. Excuse me, because however we choose to think about the world, even science now says what a lot of spiritual traditions and certain religions have said for thousands of years, which is the source of all life, whether you want to call it God, spirit, universe, it doesn't really matter. Creative intelligence is a pretty even one.
Yes,
I don't care what we call it. But
yes,
that force, there's a single source of life, and it's everywhere all the time. So it's like here in this phone, it's in every cell of my body, every cell of your body, and the computer that we're talking on, it's everywhere. So there's no place that the source of life is not, and everything comes from the source of life. So even science now says everything that you could ever want is everywhere all the time. There's no place it isn't. So it's not like we ever have to bring something to ourselves that we're lacking. What we need to do is change uh, our perception so we can see the opportunity for the things that we want. So if, for instance, someone wants to make $10,000 today for whatever reason, that money is already here. There's no place that the money is not. However, that person isn't seeing the money because of the way that they're thinking and what they believe and how they feel. So if you
yeah,
change those things, you suddenly start to look around you and see the opportunity to have that money right now. So that's the way that I think about the law of attraction.
yeah. And another thing that a lot of people are having lacking mindset. So how they can shift from that lacking to that of abundance mindset? Because I believe that universe is abundant thing, right? Everything, each and everything is available. It's only just a matter of belief and certain things which one needs to improve.
Yeah. So I think there's two steps to the process. Maybe it's more complex, but just for our needs here, we can make it really simple. I think there's two steps.
Yeah.
One is you have to consciously change the way that you think about the world and what you believe about the world. Because what you said is true. We are in an abundant universe. The universe doesn't withhold anything. It wants life to flourish. It wants
Yes.
life to succeed through us. So everything is given. However, most of us have been taught from the earliest age to believe in lack, to believe in limitation, to believe that we're only capable of a certain amount and we only deserve a certain amount. So we have to change the way that we think, and we can consciously do that. You know, I use the phone a lot actually for that, and I suggest people do the same thing. You can set an alarm to go off every hour, and the alarm can say anything from, what are you thinking right now? Or remember the abundant nature of the universe. Whatever it is some trigger for you to go, okay, how am I thinking about myself and the world right now? And you can just consciously choose the thoughts and the feelings that you actually want to pass through your body. A lot of people don't think that that's true, but it actually is. So
Right.
that's one part, is to do whatever you have to do to remind yourself that you get to choose the thoughts that pass between your two ears and therefore how you feel in your body. The other part is doing the internal work, the internal mastery work, to understand why some of those programs exist, to understand why some of the emotional patterns exist, where they came from, why they're there, how your subconscious is using them
Yeah.
rather, to keep you right where you are. And that's, to me, that's what a lot of people miss, is that part. It's
Yeah.
easy to think, oh, cool, I can just think about $1 million and I'll have $1 million. However, if thinking like that threatens your internal sense of security, which it would for most people, even though most people I know would want $1 million, to some part of most people, it's not actually safe to have that level of abundance because of the conditioning and the programming that
Yeah.
they experience.
Yes. Right.
So you can want it all the time. You can think about money all the time. But if some part of you inside is going, I don't know about that. I don't know if we're going to be okay. You're
Yeah.
never going to experience that. So it's really necessary to get real with yourself and pull out the truth scalpel and really get surgical and look in there and go, what's actually going on inside that's producing the results that I have right
So that's the reason a lot of people just watch this, what you can say, this affirmations and all that, and they think that it doesn't work. So that's the reason they are having the limiting beliefs. So it won't help to manifest anything. That's what you are saying, right?
now. Yeah, if the limiting beliefs are still inside, you have to change those things. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying affirmations aren't helpful at all, but so I know people who have done affirmations for 10, 15 years and nothing. They don't see any change in their life. I know people who do affirmations for 10 days and see huge changes. The only difference is the person who sees the change did whatever they needed to do to create a stable foundation to receive what it is they wanted to receive. And they did that by healing whatever they needed to heal and changing the limiting.
Yeah, same works for the subliminal messages. A lot of people just hear subliminal messages and they just question that it doesn't work. But you need to change that limiting beliefs, and then only we can make a progress, right?
Yeah.
And
And
just one more thing. Okay, you can continue, please.
the challenge in that is while most people would say, yeah, I want to change my limiting beliefs, I really want to change how I feel, I want to be more capable of receiving from the universe. I think most people we both know would say that. The
Yes.
challenge is we're addicted to those limiting beliefs. So I'm not saying they can't change. They absolutely can. Everyone has the capacity to change them. But it takes a lot of courage to actually go in and be willing to change them.
Yes.
Because again, our sense of safety is wrapped up in those beliefs. Even though those beliefs create a lot of suffering in our lives,
Yeah.
there's a sense of safety when you know the ceiling in your life, like, you know, things aren't going to rise past about right here, let's just say. Life becomes very predictable. You have a pretty good sense of what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. And your subconscious just wants to keep you alive. You know, that's how it perceives its job. So it doesn't want you to break through that ceiling and really rise. It doesn't want you to go shine because that would change things.
Yes.
So it's really, I just can't stress how important it is to get real with yourself and say, like, where am I deriving my sense of safety from? Why am I addicted to this particular way of thinking that limits my growth, limits my capacity as a human being?
Yeah.
That's the piece that's really necessary to change.
Yeah, yeah. And I also heard that we are the multidimensional being having human experience. We are just giving labels as we get older. So is it true? What are your things regarding that?
Can you ask that again? It cut out for a second, so I didn't totally hear your question.
Yeah, my question is that it is said that we are multidimensional being having human experience, and we are almost every time labeled with certain things as we progress, as we age. So what are your thoughts regarding this? What are your comments on that?
Yeah, I think the human experience is a lot more multi-layered or multi-dimensional, as you're saying, than most of us perceive. And there's a lot of things happening on a lot of levels. And
Just
you
to
know,
give an example, I would like to say that we are categorized in different religion, caste, and nationality, and all that. So these are the different labels which I'm talking about, right? So, but in general, we are all the same. That is a multidimensional being having human experience. So, what are your thoughts on that?
yeah, I agree with you completely. And in the end, the nationality, the beliefs, the religions, the spiritual, all those things are conditions that we've put on ourselves. They're not right or wrong, good or bad. I'm not judging them.
Yes, yes,
But in the end, we're all coming from the same thing. We're all a finite expression of some more infinite experience. And missing that key piece, as simple as it is, keeps us very divided, keeps us very attached to that identity as the person I perceive myself to be, whatever I think it is to be Tristan Gutner. You can bet there's a lot of attachment to that. And again, the subconscious does not like to be proven wrong. So most of us fight really hard to stay exactly who we are because that's where our sense of safety is. When in the end, we are multidimensional beings. We exist on levels of reality and creation that are very hard for the human mind to comprehend. And for me, it's one of the reasons that continuously educating ourselves and
life.
continuously,
It has been observed that almost all the successful people looks for lifelong learning and reading and learning each and everything new, developing themselves. So that's the thing which you're talking about.
yeah. And if you could, I'm not going to move the computer around, but if you can see around my desk, it's just piles of books
Yeah,
everywhere. Uh, just because I feel better in myself and I'm able to serve people at a higher level the more I continue to learn. So learning is part of my daily rhythm and routine. I get up in the morning, excuse me. I have time for meditation. I also have time to write and I have time to read. And this is all before breakfast is happening because those things are the first, when we get busy, those are typically the first things we stop doing. We don't have time for them, we say. For
yeah.
me, though, those are what opened my mind up and my sense of belief in what's possible for me and other people. So I'm always bringing in other perspectives to keep things fresh and expanding.
Yeah, and just I would like to know you are from entrepreneurship. So how can an entrepreneur move from some level to next level? For example, talking about myself, I have just created this channel to inspire people to become the greatest person. So how now can I progress? What are the steps I need to take according to you? What would be
Yeah,
the
so
thing?
it depends always where a person's at in their life and in their business. It's not always exactly the same starting point, but I have a technique that I take people through. I call it the quantum leap technique, and the first step is always what I mentioned before, taking out the truth scalpel, because most people that I've interacted with, and I've interacted with a lot of people through my
Yes,
business and through being a coach, most people, the problem is they don't actually know what the problem is, as simple as that
yeah,
sounds. And again, the subconscious is very deeply invested in hiding what the true problem is from us. So we just keep sort of running around in a circle, because if we do that, we just stay right here and we don't have to really grow and take risks. So the first step is always pulling out the truth scalpel and go, what is actually going on here? If I am the cause, my state of consciousness, is the cause of every effect that I experience, because we
Yes.
are the creators of our reality. What is going on here and here that has created the results that I am excited to change or transform?
Yeah, here I would like to make a comment that one can start with why. Start with why is important. A lot of people just look what are doing, how are doing, but they rarely care about why they are doing. So once you know your why, your progress and all that will be there. Will be a certain path.
Yeah, and it's the why has two parts. The why implies our purpose. Like, why am I doing this journey? Why am I running this business? Because I work almost exclusively with entrepreneurs, but it's all people who are really purpose driven. So all of them want to make more money, but they don't want to make more money for the sake of just making more money. They want to make more money because having more money allows them to serve at a higher level. They have a purpose, they have a why, and everything is in service to that purpose or that vision. So that's one part. The other part of the why question is, why is this occurring right now? Whatever the result is that we want to change, if it's make more money, if it's serve at a higher level, if it's feel happier, if it's attract a partner, whatever it is, we have to start with, why am I experiencing the particular conditions that I'm experiencing right now? Meaning, to take responsibility for it. Go, how did I create this? What needs to shift? And that's where most people are unwilling to do the work, because it's a scary thing to be experiencing something you don't want to experience, and to
Yeah.
have the realization, like, oh my gosh, I'm the one that created that. It can feel like a really big responsibility, but like one of my mentors is very fond of saying, you can't use GPS in a car on your phone if you don't know where you're starting from. So if I want to
Yes,
get from
that's
Los
the thing.
Angeles to India, and I'm using my phone to do that, it can't get me to India if it doesn't know that I'm starting in Los Angeles. It'll just show me India, but it won't show me the path to get there.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
where
the
most
thing.
people are a little bit hesitant to be honest with themselves about where they're actually starting from. So the starting point is always that, just taking responsibility and really looking at what's going on so you can move forward from there.
Yeah, and what are your thoughts regarding mentorship? If one want to go for mentorship, then is it beneficial, and how one can approach for
Can you
mentorship?
could you ask that again? You cut out for just a second.
Yeah, just I was asking that what are the, if one is looking for mentorship, then how can one take as a mentor? Because mentor is a crucial, right? For one's journey, it's important. How can one get that benefit?
Yeah. Mentorship has been one of the biggest catalysts for my own growth and in my own business over the past years. It's one of the things I value most highly, and it is absolutely what has helped me get from point A to point B, and will continue to get me from point B wherever else I go. Because again, we're programmed to not see our blind spots. They're called a blind spot for a reason. We can't see them. Our subconscious is programmed to keep those parts in the dark so we don't grow and change. For me, why I have mentorship in my life is for someone who doesn't have the same programs and isn't emotionally invested in my life. They can go, hey, Tristan, you're not seeing this and you're not seeing this. And those are the things that are creating the results that you want to change. So to me, mentorship is one of the most, if not the most important thing in being successful in one's life, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, whatever it is that you want to succeed at. I think mentorship is really a vital component. And your question was sort of how to go about finding mentorship. My advice is really just start researching. We have the internet, which is incredible. So if you want a mentorship around relationship, you can just type in relationship coach, best relationship coach in Delhi, in Los Angeles, in New York, wherever. And most people work virtually now. And start to really gather some information. And always, for me, what I say to people is it's a risk. You don't know what's going to happen. You commit to working with someone, but you don't really know. And I've had incredible experiences with mentors and coaches. I've had some less incredible ones. And people always want to know how to find the right person. And on some level, you don't know until you know, and it does require taking a risk. And I could just say this: even the mentorship experience that I've had that weren't easy and didn't go the way I wanted to, I learned so much about myself even
Yeah.
in those experiences. So you can't really go wrong. And what I always tell people is when you're talking to someone, if you're thinking about hiring a coach or a mentor, just make sure you ask all the questions you need to ask. And you got to gauge what feels right in your body. And for me, the sweet spot for choosing to work with someone, for me, and what I always tell people who are considering working with me is there's a sweet spot where you feel excited, you feel like change is possible, you feel like this person is going to be able to help you get there. And there
Yes.
should be a fairly healthy amount of fear around it, honestly, because growing in the way you want to grow, it pushes your sense of comfort, your sense of safety. So I always tell people if you're on the phone and you're thinking about working with a coach and you don't feel any level of fear and you're just like, great, this sounds good, and it's sort of even like that, it's probably not quite the right person. Every time I've hired a coach, and I've hired coaches lots of times, part of me is thrilled and so excited, and I know they're the one going to take me forward. Part of me is terrified though. I've been
Yes.
on the phone with coaches, doubled over, feeling sick to my stomach because I could feel the transformation that was about to happen.
Yes.
So there's a sweet spot in there of inspiration mixed with a little bit of terror, I think.
Yes. And one more, you have started your YouTube channel, but now you have just stopped making videos. So why is it so?
I just sort of switched over to putting videos up more on social media because they're more easily seen by more people, and I'm able to engage with people more directly. Like I love, as you can probably tell, talking to people one on one
Yeah.
and in groups, and YouTube is a little bit more detached. I think it's an incredible vehicle for disseminating and sharing information and building relationships, but it doesn't have the same social media component. So for me and my business and just what I love, it's been more effective to be more in Instagram and Facebook and get to engage with people more directly.
So, yeah, so that's the thing. And one more thing I would like to know, what are your plans, future plans? What is your goal? What are you currently working on?
What was the last part? What am I what?
What are you currently working on? What are your goals?
Yeah. So my goals are to always be able to reach and serve more and more and more people. So my business in a lot of ways has been very direct, very one-on-one. So I have a group of VIP clients that I meet with one-on-one, and then I typically run very intimate small group programs, 4 to 8 people at a time. So my plans and my desire is to be able to reach more and more people more of the time. So that looks like getting on more stages to speak to bigger audiences,
Hello.
reaching more people through social media, teaching more virtually so I can reach more people. Because for me, there's not a better feeling than sharing what I love to do and seeing it transform someone's way of thinking right before my eyes, and to know that they're going to go take that and not only transform themselves, but transform everybody and everything they ever touch from that moment.
Yeah, last question I have just for you. I have been told that it comes from your pain. So according to you, is it true? How will it impact?
Can you ask the question one more time? I think I understood, but I want to make sure I really understand.
I am saying that your purpose in life comes from your pain. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think you're how I have experienced it for myself and for other people is often one's purpose is hidden in the pain. So, I was just talking to someone yesterday who's going through some challenges financially that they've never been through before. And part of her purpose in life is to help people with their relationship with money from a deeply intuitive, emotionally and mentally based place. So her purpose, as she understands it, and as far as I can see, is when people are wanting to really upgrade their business and their relationship with money, to help them do it through greater awareness of themselves and their business. So she was having some struggle with money that she'd never experienced. And she had a big aha moment where she said, wow, if I hadn't gone through this, I would not be able to relate to people who were struggling with their money right now because I just had never had that experience. So for
Yeah.
6 months, it was very scary and very painful for her. And she was had a lot of self-judgment about what was going on until she started to see, oh my God, this is a tremendous gift. So I think it works like that for most of us. I know certainly for myself, some of the most painful parts of the experiences
Right.
I've had prepared me to actually serve in the way that I'm here to serve. So I would say for anybody watching this, whatever it is you're going through, that's painful, that's scary, that has a lot of suffering involved. What it's really doing, it's like you have the sword in the forge in the fire right now, and it's just getting hammered out and heated up and hammered out till it has a razor sharp edge, so it can go do what it needs to do.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
trust the process.
That's now last question. Anything, any one sentence from your end to the viewers and the people out there. Your
Yeah,
one sentence.
one sentence. Oh my gosh, there's so many things to say. It might be a run-on sentence, but just remember, whatever is going on in your life, wherever you are, and wherever you want to go to, you are the cause of where you are, and you're also the cause of where you want to go to, which can be scary, but also can be very empowering. So the only thing necessary to go from here to here, or here to here, or wherever it is you want to go, is to change what's going on in here and here, and to
Right.
act from a higher level of personal awareness. That's it. So
It's
it
really
truly is in your
amazing.
hands.
Yes, yes. It depends on us only. What we are going to become. So it's really great to have Tristan. It's time is a lot more. Plus, it is 30 minutes for now, and it's really been great to have you. And I was just not prepared for this interview. I didn't prepare any questions, but as you were interacting with me, the questions automatically get comes out, and it's been really great experience. Thanks for joining us, and I will be soon contacting you if I need any help from your end.
Thank
Thanks.
you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and wishing you and everybody else just an incredible rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks. Peace.
Goodbye.
Bye.